How do you know if a child is really yours? This question can change lives, and today we're diving deep into the world of proving paternity. It's not just about biology, it's about legal rights, financial responsibilities, and a child's very identity. So, why is establishing paternity so crucial? Well, it legally recognises a man as a child's father, which unlocks a whole set of rights and duties. We're talking about having a say in your child's life, from their education to their healthcare. It also means financial support, which is a big deal. In the UK, for instance, about 60% of child support arrangements depend on paternity being established. Beyond that, it affects inheritance rights and gives a child access to their father's medical history, which can be vital. Perhaps most importantly, it helps shape a child's sense of self and belonging. There are several ways to establish paternity, and the simplest is often by mutual agreement. This is called Acknowledgment of Paternity. If both parents agree, the father's name is put on the birth certificate right from the start. This immediately grants him parental rights and responsibilities. It's the most straightforward path when there are no doubts. But what if there is doubt? That's where DNA testing comes in. This is the gold standard for accuracy, typically over 99.9% reliable. It's the go-to method when paternity is uncertain or being disputed. It provides a clear scientific answer that's hard to argue with. Sometimes parents just can't agree. In these cases, the matter can go to court. A judge can order a DNA test if one hasn't been done. They'll also look at other evidence like medical records or even statements from witnesses who can speak to the relationship between the parents. There's also something called presumption of paternity. The law in many places automatically presumes a man is the father if he was married to the mother when the child was born, or if they were living together. It's a starting point, but this presumption can be challenged with evidence if someone believes it's incorrect. Once paternity is legally confirmed, what happens next? A whole lot. First, let's talk about parental rights and responsibilities. A legal father gets to be involved in the big decisions: schooling, medical treatments, and day-to-day upbringing. But with those rights comes the responsibility to financially support the child. This brings us to child maintenance. Once a man is legally recognised as the father, agencies like the Child Maintenance Service can step in to ensure he contributes financially. This support usually continues until the child turns 18, or sometimes longer if they're still in certain types of education. Then there are inheritance rights. A child with a legally established father has the right to inherit from him. This includes property, money, and other assets. It secures a child's financial future in the event of a parent's death. But let's not forget the human side of all this. The emotional and psychological impact is massive. For a child, knowing their biological roots can be incredibly grounding and strengthen their identity. For the parents, getting a definitive answer, whether it's a confirmation or a denial, can bring a mix of emotions. It might be relief, but it can also be anxiety or a period of emotional adjustment for everyone involved. When parents are at odds, the process can get confrontational. This is where mediation can be a game changer. It's a less hostile way to handle disputes. A neutral third party, the mediator, helps both parents talk through the issues. The goal is to reach an agreement on paternity and what the future will look like, without a drawn-out court battle. It puts the focus on cooperation and the child's best interests. But if mediation doesn't work, or isn't an option, the family court is the next step. So how does that work? First, one of the parents, or sometimes another concerned party, has to start the legal proceedings by filing an application with the court. They'll need to include documents like the child's birth certificate to support their case. Next, there's a court hearing. This is where both sides present their evidence and tell their side of the story. The judge will listen to everyone and, as we mentioned, can order a DNA test if it's needed to get a clear answer. Finally, the court makes a decision. The judge will issue a ruling on who the legal father is, and this decision is legally binding. It settles the question of paternity and sets the stage for all future arrangements regarding rights, responsibilities, and child support. Dealing with a paternity dispute can have ripple effects that go beyond the courtroom. There can be a social stigma attached. You might face judgment or prying questions from your family or community. Having a strong emotional support system, friends, family, or a therapist, is really important during this stressful time. The way a paternity dispute is handled can also shape future relationships for years to come. It will impact the bond between the parent and the child, the ability of the parents to co-parent effectively, and even relationships with grandparents, aunts and uncles. Keeping communication open and trying to cooperate as much as possible is the best way to protect the child's emotional well-being through it all. So, to wrap things up, navigating a paternity dispute is a complex journey. It touches on legal, emotional, and financial aspects of life. Understanding the different paths you can take, whether it's a simple acknowledgement, a scientific DNA test, or a court order, is key to making informed choices. Getting clarity on the process doesn't just resolve a legal question, it creates stability for the child and a clear path forward for both parents. It's about finding the truth to build a secure future. Thanks for watching. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content that helps you navigate life's big questions. See you next time.